Hello one and all, my name is John Clare, this is John's Dark Art, and you, as always, are very welcome. Today's piece that I want to show you, the latest in this Miscellaneous Dark Creatures series, is the first Cerberus, Cerberus 1 if you like. Now if we look up here, a couple of weeks ago I was talking about Cerberus 2, and I felt it was only appropriate that, having spoken about this piece, we speak about this one. If I bring it up now, you can see that this is a picture of a three-headed hyena. Mainly because, as I said in the previous video, I like hyenas. I think they look cool. I think they're handsome looking beasts. And I thought it would be cool to do a Cerberus as a hyena rather than just a dog. So I did. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hop into the time-lapse replay and we're going to talk more about how I created this piece and the meanings behind it and what I was trying to communicate with it. So let's hop into it now. So, okay, this is Cerberus 1. So what we'll do first and foremost is we'll go into canvas information. There we go. Drop in the statistics. This piece took me 32 hours and 53 minutes with total strokes made 17,690. The thing is with the statistics recording here, this is only the tracked time that it notices you doing it, so to speak. So it's not like I spent 32 hours constantly drawing this piece. I mean, it was done over, I think, over about 2, maybe 3 weeks in the summer of last year, 2022. Anyway, let's hop out of that there now and we'll move into time-lapse replay. Here we are. No quotes this time. Let's just scrub through it slowly. Just sketching out the drawings of the 3 hyena faces. And then, yeah, I'm starting to draw out the fur now. And one question I do get asked quite a lot is, like, how do you draw your fur, or why is your fur as convincing as it is? The reason for that is because it's scribbling. A lot of it is directional scribbling. So if we punch in a little bit. So I basically just do lots of little kind of wavy lines, and I try and do them directional as well. So, you know, it still looks like fur, so to speak. It doesn't look like just me randomly scribbling. There is a purpose behind my mark making. And also, like, as you can tell also in this little sequence here, that I'm taking bits away, I'm adding bits, taking bits away. And the way I do that, if we hop out of here quickly, I've mentioned this before about bringing up and taking down, bringing up and taking down. The way I do this specifically is now in Procreate, if you go up to the brushes here, you can see highlighted that I use technical pencil. And that's pretty much the same no matter what drawing I do. I always use technical pencil. But with the eraser, I can also do the same thing. I use the same brush to erase that I can do while I'm drawing. And what that basically means is that there's a consistency in the marks. So when I'm bringing up my highlights, I'm still using the same brush to take away as I am to add onto, so to speak. So if we come back out of that there now, and we'll hop back into time-lapse replay. Also, you may notice as well, like with the eyes in particular, and this is the same with all 3 of them, if we punch through, like all the eyes have a kind of like almost like an obsidian or an onyx look to them. This is something that I do quite a lot with my familiars actually. So if we go into one of my other drawings, so let's hop into gallery and we go into, say, this piece here. This is an older piece that I did a few years ago. One side is a self-portrait of myself, but the other side, if we look at the dog in particular and we punch in, we can see that the eye looks kind of strange. It's something that I've kind of done over time. I like also another example on a more recent piece, a slightly different way of doing it. If we go into this piece here, notice with the crow eyes that I've left them completely whited out. Either or works. The reason being is because I like my familiars to have a slightly otherworldly quality to them, and the easiest way to depict that usually is with eyes. Like, so if you take away the pupils, if you take away the irises, you know, it gives kind of supernatural aspect to it that I quite like within my drawings. So anyway, let's hop back into time-lapse replay. There we go. And we'll move past all of this, get back to where we were. Fleshing out the details on the 3 heads. At this point here, I'm composing it. Now, initially, we see here, This was initially how I was going to leave it, just as 3 heads. There's advice that's often given: if you're not settled on a piece, go away, sleep on it, and come back the following day and see if that's still where you want to be, if you feel that that is the finished piece. And I thought, no, I need to put a body on this. It looks a bit weird, it looks a bit disjointed. So I started drawing out the body. So yeah, started fleshing that out. A lot, again, with a lot of directional scribbling, a lot of bringing in highlights, and applying pressure where I feel the shadows need to be, and then kind of adding in the spots. There's a little mark here. I don't know if I can highlight it. You might see it flashing up. Initially, I was going to draw the tail, so yeah, there, and then I just decided against it. That was Cerberus 1. Yeah, I think I was pretty happy with it in all. So let's round this out now. Okay, so that was Cerberus 1. It's a piece I'm pretty happy with. I quite like it. It did pretty well when I posted up on the social medias a little while ago. I think it was about this time last year, actually. Maybe a little bit later in the summer, I'm not too sure. I'm happy with it. It was quite a different piece for me to do. But that's the great thing about, if you like, it's a great thing about no one knowing who you are, because it enables you to establish your style. It enables you to experiment. It enables you to try different things. Now, I'd say my style in terms of the way I execute my work is pretty much where I want it. But then again, that could also change at some point in the future. Like, the great thing about art as well is it's never static. When if you look at the career of someone like Pablo Picasso, like how his work changed over the course of the entirety of his life, it never stayed still. And I think in order for art to be, for the artist at least anyway, in order for it to maintain its interest and to maintain its hold over the creator, you need to be willing to experiment and be creative. And being creative doesn't mean doing the same thing over and over and over again, because if anything, that leads to stagnation and then disinterest. And this is probably one that sometimes during my life I've found myself like not creating as much as I feel I should be. But right now I feel like I'm in a bit of a blue period, so to speak. I'm actively creating and I'm sharing with you guys, and yeah, long may it continue. The great thing about creativity in general, whether irrespective of your medium, whether it is, music or art or photography, if you're trying different things, if you're trying out different techniques, if you're trying out different modes of execution, then that keeps it interesting. And not every piece you do is going to be fantastic. I don't like this piece here, Fenrir 1, I think this was. I don't think this is a very good piece. The second one, this one, I think it's a bit better. Is it still perfect as far as I'm concerned? Not really, but it's an improvement. So there are pieces that I'm highly critical of. Some pieces I like, some pieces I don't. I think it's also another thing for me to do. If I'm going to talk to you about creativity, I think it's important to me. It's important for me to be honest with you, as to say that this isn't easy. Creativity is hard. Creating is hard. And maintaining an interest in your creativity is not always there. Like, there's a quote from Pablo Picasso. I think I've mentioned this before in a previous video. Inspiration is something that finds you working. So as long as you're working, as long as you're creating, then the inspiration comes, new ideas come. It is a virtuous circle. It's a positive feedback loop. The more you're creating, the more you create, Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, far be it for me to do this. Again, with this piece, this will be available on John's Dark Arts. All right. Again, 2 sizes, A3, A4, €75, €45. So if you like what we do and want to support what we're doing here, please head over there, pick yourself up a print. And yeah, we'll leave it there for now. So if you're creating, keep creating. And if you want, share it with the world in whatever way you see fit. My name's been John Clare. This has been John's Dark Art. And as always, you are very welcome. Till next time.